Real quick before we get into this is not a visual video. There's nothing to look at, just me talking while somebody drives. So if you're here for fancy graphics and jump cuts, wrong channel. But if you want to hear what I'd actually do if I were president, stay with me. All right, first thing I do on day one, and I mean the very first thing. I'm asking Arie out on a date. Don't judge me. Every president gets one selfish act. That's mine. We move on. Now, the real stuff. Campaign finance is broken, and everybody knows it. Dark money is how politicians get bought without you ever finding out who paid for them. I'm getting rid of it. All of it. I'm putting a hard cap on what any candidate can receive in donations. And if you donate more than $100 to anybody running for anything, your name is public. That's it. You want to influence an election? Fine. Own it. Super PACs are done. Gone. They exist for one reason, to hide who's really funding a candidate. There's no version of that which benefits regular people. And foreign money? I don't care who you are. If you're not based in the United States, you cannot donate to an American election. That means you, AIPAC. That means the Saudis. That means all of them. Every country tries to influence American elections. I'm not pretending otherwise. It stops. Next, the presidential term is going to 6 years. 4 years is too short, and I'll tell you why. The first 6 months is basically orientation. You're learning the job. The last year, nobody's really governing because everyone's already thinking about the next election. You get maybe 2 years of actual work done. That's not enough time to fix anything real. 6 years gives you room to actually govern. House representatives, same problem. 2-year terms are a joke. You spend half your term running for re-election. I'm changing it to 3 years. Let people do the job they were elected to do. The Constitution needs a rewrite. I know that sounds radical. It's not. That document was written in the 1700s by people who owned other people. It has been patched and amended over and over because it keeps breaking. I'm not saying throw everything out. I'm saying sit down with serious people and write something that actually applies to the world we live in now. A document that old, with that many obvious flaws, should not be the final word on how 330 million people live. The Electoral College makes no sense. One person, one vote. That vote counts as one vote. The idea that where you live determines how much your vote matters is not democracy. It's geography. It goes away. Term limits and age limits on Congress. Done. You should not be making laws for people whose world you stopped understanding 30 years ago. In the Supreme Court, you can serve for 20 years. That's it. No more lifetime appointments from people who were nominated before half the country was born. Billionaires. Let's talk about it. If you are making billionaire money, you are getting taxed at a minimum of 50%. And before you start screaming, the top marginal tax rate under Eisenhower was 91%. The 50s, the decade everybody calls the golden age of America. The economy was fine, the middle class grew, nobody fled the country. I'm starting at 50 to 60% and working up from there. The goal is not to punish success. The goal is to make it less appealing to just keep hoarding. There's a difference between being wealthy and sitting on more money than you could spend in 1,000 lifetimes while people can't afford insulin. Now, I'm not just going to take your money and walk away. I'll give you a way out. Donate to causes that actually help people. Real causes. Food security, housing, mental health, education in communities that have nothing. You do that, you get real tax credit for it. What you don't get credit for is putting your name on a building. That's not charity. That's a trophy. I know the difference, and so do you. Reparations. For Native Americans and for Black Americans. And before anyone shuts down, hear me out. This is not a check and goodbye. It's a 4-part reset: monetary, social, educational, and economic. Real support to help people actually climb, not just a one-time payment that disappears in a year. Done right, over time, with accountability. Prison population. A lot of people sitting in prison right now for things that community service would have handled just as well, probably better. I'm creating a real path for nonviolent offenders to serve their time doing something that actually helps their city or state. Free labor for governments that need it. Real consequences that don't just warehouse people and make them worse. Every state must have publicly elected defense attorneys. Free attorneys for people who can't afford one, which is most people. The idea that you get real legal representation based on how much money you have is not justice. It's an auction. Qualified immunity for police is gone. If you do something wrong, you are accountable, the same as everyone else. That's the whole point. Military-grade weapons, high-capacity magazines, silencers, suppressors. Done. You don't need any of that to protect your home. Nobody does. Equal opportunity protections. What some people now call DEI, those stay. And I'm making them easier to actually enforce in court. Because a law nobody can prove means nothing. AI is not going away. I'm not pretending it is. But there will be regulations on how many people a company can lay off because of it. And major corporations are going into a fund that helps states cover unemployment. You benefit from this country's infrastructure, its workers, its consumers. You contribute when those same people need a safety net. Voting is a national holiday. You get the day off. You get paid for it. You show proof you voted. Simple. Path to citizenship. A real one. Not the obstacle course that exists now just to make people give up. And finally, schools. Mandatory critical thinking classes. The real history of America, not the version that makes everyone comfortable. And diversity training starting in elementary school. I know that last one is going to upset people. Good. Look, 6 people are probably going to watch this. Maybe 7 if I'm lucky. But if you made it this far, you already know most of this makes sense. You just haven't heard anybody say it out loud without flinching. I'm just driving.